Hello and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to have a look at what was just announced at QuickBooks Connect and what the future of QuickBooks could be. Now, one thing for certain, there's some really juicy things that got announced, so stay tuned and we'll have a look at all of them. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer, a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, and also head of accounts here at Boffix. Now, before we start on today's video, let's think about what's just happened. If you aren't aware, this week was QuickBooks Connect, which is basically QuickBooks' little annual conference. It talks about everything that's going to be announced in the world of QuickBooks. Now, we covered the USA one, this is the UK one we're about to cover today, and each and every time we get a little sneak preview of what to expect in the world of QuickBooks Online. Now, these events are really good. Highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, go over to the QuickBooks channel. They've got all of the videos out there. And even myself was one of the panelists this time round, and I was able to give you a bit of a taste of Ask the Expert. In fact, as a little sneak peek, here's a behind the scenes of what that looked like. Well, hello there everyone. Today's a really exciting day. Today's all about the idea that we are going to be presenting live on QuickBooks Connect. There's some amazing speakers on this time around, and I'm really privileged and lucky to be one of those speakers that's going to be producing some content on the conference itself. I'm doing a live Ask the Expert. Now, I'm doing a live one today against, probably the biggest amount of participants Ask the Expert we'll ever have. So it's a bit of a logistical nightmare, if you want, to make sure we get everything spot on. Now, the team at QuickBooks have done all of the kind of technological stuff, the side of things. They've got producers, they've got artists, they've got all sorts of things, and it's going to make the production look really slick and tidy. But I thought I would give you a tour and give you an explanation of how we're doing it this end, because obviously it's virtual, so I'm not going down to the studios or anything like that. The feed is produced from my place, my studio, and also one of the other Ask the Expert panelists as well. Now, we want to be making sure that we've got everything set up correctly. We want to make sure we got that nice professional manner, and also make sure that we can answer your questions, see your questions easily. The beauty of this one is that it's not just me doing it. I've got a team behind me doing it, producing it and everything else, but it's still going to be stuff that's down to me and under my control, and the stuff I need to make sure is right. Okay, so here's behind the scenes then of how we're getting things set up for QuickBooks Connect. First of all, behind me, I've got my monitor on. We've done a brand new background for it. Made sure it's Ask the Expert, got the kind of details and everything else there. And then just going across really slowly, so not too off-putting, is some of the information I need. Now, excuse the mess behind there. It's all still in there. Still always trying to get things up. But when we look through this way, we can see exactly how I've got things set up. So first of all, QuickBooks Connect is on that screen over there. Then we've got lots of lighting. So we've got lighting up there, and lighting there. We've also got in front of me, so as I'm standing here and looking this way, you can see that on the main computer, I've got a nice little screening area here of how I'm doing, so that I can show you exactly what's going on at this point in time. I've got a MacBook Pro. Max is going to be the one that's actually going to be doing all the grunt of the work. So it's going to sit there basically making sure everything's all working as it should do. And I'm going through my A7C camera that you can see just here. And that's going to be basically putting the feed of what's going through. Then I have the opportunity to use this side of the screen. So on here, we've got the Mac that's actually running QuickBooks Connect, so that I'm actually presenting it over there so I can see it. My Surface Book over there, that's going to basically be what's on behind me, and it can be interacted with if needed to by one of the team. And then here in front of me is what will be shown on my little iPad. And the idea then is, as I'm presenting, so if I show myself here, look, so as I'm presented, I've got my iPad, I can read it here if I need to, but at the same time I could read it from there, and that just gives me a really good place where, I've got enough of a view to be able to see everything that's going on. I can make sure then that everything is being done correctly. So that's my aim. I just need to tidy up the back of here, I think, just to make it a little less cluttered, and then I'm ready to enjoy the show with everyone else. So yeah, 12 o'clock's my kind of starting point, and look forward to seeing it from there. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, we're literally now 5 minutes before I need to log in, getting myself ready to go in line. But I thought I'd give you another behind the scenes of before we went live and show who's joining me on today's session. As you can see, I'm not sure she looks too impressed with what's going on. But yeah, at least I won't be by myself during the session. So, well, let's go and see how it goes. And there you are. So what do you think? A little sneak peek of what it was like to be on Ask the Expert. Now, if Ask the Expert, the idea of asking an expert, rings true to you, then why not join us live on the QuickBooks channel, 8:30 to 9 a.m. most weekdays, at least once a month, sometimes more. I'm on there, but also lots and lots of experts are there, give you loads and loads of insights. Speaking of live as well, we reacted live to what actually happened at QuickBooks Connect over on our podcast, QuickBooks Labs, and you'll find that on this channel as well. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to QuickBooks Labs. QuickBooks Labs is a monthly podcast designed to be the place to learn all about the world of QuickBooks and other accounting software. So next time we go live, maybe it's worthwhile giving that a follow as well. Now, enough plug-in. Now let's get straight into what was announced. And let's look at some of the really interesting bits. Okay, so for me, one of the most interesting elements was...
I'm Rochelle and I'm a product manager in the accounting and tax team.
Now, first of all, we know Rochelle. We like Rochelle a lot. Fun fact, we used to actually work together. So what Rochelle's about to announce here is actually going to be really, really exciting. And this, to be fair, is one of the biggest insights we had from the conference itself. Now, the conference itself, some of the big announcements on the day was some of the interaction with MailChimp, but we'll look at that in a future video when we do a dedicated MailChimp one. Some of the other announcements were a little bit strange, to say the least. They were re-announcing stuff that already got announced, like Smart Scan. So I'm not 100% sure what was going on there. And there was also some announcements relating to the fact that, you know, thankfully and luckily, the payroll suite is going to be updated. And that's going to be something, again, we'll look in more detail. They did announce as well a beta for Making Tax Digital, and don't worry, I will be making sure I'm first on the list to get some insight if we can into that. The Making Tax Digital stuff is stuff that really is going to change the fundamentals of how we do taxation, how we interact with QuickBooks. So getting to know that, understanding the ins and outs of that is going to be critical going forward. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz to make sure you don't miss anything else. Now, let's go and see what Rochelle had to announce for us, and let's see what we can gain out of what's been announced here.
Today I'm really excited to share some new features which are available within your QuickBooks Online accountant, and also give you an early look at some features which are coming soon. The features which I will share help tackle the end-to-end accounting workflow in QuickBooks. From step 1, getting your client set up in QuickBooks, right through to the final step of year-end account preparation and tax filings, now known as Books Review. Let's take a look at that now. Books Review is found in the Accounting Review section on the left navigation.
Now, this actual feature is now live in the product, and if you watched us on QuickBooks Labs, we had a little play around with it, had a little dabble on it as well. And I actually really like this. So now, one thing to note about this, the features we're going to be looking at now are very accountant focused. So these are features that us accountants are going to get. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's not useful to you, because that'll give you some insight of how we're going to be able to make sure that your data is correct when we go to file it to Companies House and HMRC on your behalf. So it's still going to be worthwhile. And what could happen is some of these features may actually bring themselves over to you as well. So if you're not an accountant, still stay tuned to this bit, because I think there'll be some really interesting insights, and especially understanding of where QuickBooks is going forward.
Last year, we introduced Month-End Review, a monthly bookkeeping workflow that helps you quickly and efficiently get to complete and high-quality books each month. Now, we're introducing 2 new steps, Setup and Wrap Up, expanding this to an end-to-end bookkeeping workflow, which we call Books Review. The second section provides links to the financial statements so you can quickly and easily find your starting point.
Now, in front of us is definitely an area we've been quite excited about here. So if you look at what we've got the option to do opening balance adjustments just here. And what that's going to give us the opportunity to do is really get involved in what's going on. So the idea that we're going to be shown what's on our balance sheet, the way that we can then show what's happening in QuickBooks, and we can adjust them to QuickBooks from there. Then when we have a difference, we get to add the adjustment just here, giving us an opportunity to look at it in more detail. I really like this feature. I think this feature is quite exciting. We've had a play around with it, not quite done the video for it yet, but there is a video coming soon on opening balance adjustments.
That's why we've introduced another new feature in this space, transaction collaboration. Transaction collaboration reimagines how you capture missing information from your clients, and it can be accessed right here from within.
Now this can be again seen as a game changer. This is the bit that we played around with quite a lot over on QuickBooks Labs. And the idea here is that we can actually look at transactions, and if as the accountant we're struggling to understand maybe what a client's done, or what the client's trying to do, or what they paid for, whatever it's going to be, and we've got a query on that transaction itself, not to worry, QuickBooks has our backs now. QuickBooks now allows us to go in and actually ask the client. Let's have a look. So as you can see, just on this screen itself, we've got this screen here where we're looking at where we can tick the items that we're interested in. We've got the Ask Client option just there, which basically means it's going to send these transactions off to the client for them to ask and find out the question for. Really interactive. And then we've also been added quite recently the opportunity to reclassify directly from here as well. And if you think about what the screen's designed to do, it's designed to make sure we're getting the most out of what we're trying to do here, and we're trying to ask and look at the data. The whole point of accounting review, books review, work papers, all those sort of things is to give us confidence in the data. And something like this makes it really easy for us to get that confidence going forward.
Using this tool, you can seamlessly collaborate with your clients to capture missing transaction level information. You can also review and accept their answers, all without spreadsheets or leaving your workflow. Once you have the information you need, you can review their answers and complete your transaction review. With transaction collaboration, it's easier than ever to deliver complete, high-quality books each month.
Those features look really, really good. And again, let's put a link here and let's show you here exactly what we looked at in QuickBooks Labs of how that whole workflow works. Work papers and books review have had a bit of an update and everything else that goes with it. And a lot of these are now live. So yeah, we can actually show you this one, which is quite exciting, and show you how it works. Now, for me, we were already aware of this stuff that was coming because it was coming through from USA, and they announced it at their last QuickBooks Connect and everything else, and it looks really, really, really powerful. I think we spoke about it, didn't we, about what that could mean and how that works and what's next and everything else. But basically so I'm in the books review section to begin with, because we'll talk about that bit first. And now there's an option at the top here to move it down from monthly to cleanup. When you go to cleanup, you get your setup option that we've already kind of looked at. You get the option to go through your opening balances, which is fantastic. But now when you're in transaction review, if you do spot something that needs something happening to it, then when you tick the box, you get your batch action bar coming along the top. And part of that batch action now is Ask Client. So if I've got an expense here and it says HP loan interest, first time I've ever seen that one, I can press Ask Client. It pops up a nice little option bar on the right hand side. I can ask the question what I want here. I can even put multiple items if I had multiple items I wanted to do. I can add documents and I can press share. And basically from a client's point of view, they're going to get that. And we'll have a look in a minute how that looks from a client's point of view. But they will get that notification. They'll get an email. They get a notification on their phone if they've got their app up. And at the moment, it's shown as waiting. But as you can see here, we've already had some interactions. So as a client or as the accountant, shall I say, I can go in and it's up here, isn't it? View all requests. Look at the requests, and I can see how these are doing, what the questions, what the answers were, and go on from there. So before we kind of look at it from a client's point of view, what do you guys think to this so far? Ash, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Yeah, I mean, whenever you've got that sort of query on an entry that's going through and you're not quite sure how you need to deal with it as an accountant and you want to ask the client, just being able to do that in that, that area is pretty neat. It's a nice, it's a lovely little time saver. So yeah, it's good. I love it.
Jan?
I think it's beautiful. I mean, I don't have to open an email, send an email, chase the client for that email. Like, it's all in one place. I think, yeah, this is a huge step forward in client communication and collaboration with the client. So.
Yeah. And again, we'll have a look in a minute what it looks like from the client's point of view. My only, and maybe I'm just being daft here and I can't figure it out, but it doesn't tell me what client I'm asking at this point. At the moment, I've just got what the title is, what the due date is, what the details is. It's not telling me what client I'm going to ask. And in this case, I think there's only 2 users anyway. So if I go to account and manage users, have a quick look. I think there's just 2 users and one of them's me. So I know technically they're both me, but yeah, one of them's me, one of them's kind of quote unquote a client in this draft account, in this draft one, but it's not asking me which one of them to send to. So I don't know if you have multiple ones there. Does it send it to all of them or not? We've not been able to.
Or does it just send it to the primary admin?
Well, in this case, it hasn't. That primary admin's not had the request.
Okay.
This person's had the request, and I don't know how it or what it's making the assumption for that's why it's there. So, yeah, that's my only kind of criticism of it, I'd say. And my only other one, and I don't know if this would be worthwhile or not, but is it or would it be possible to ask this while you're in a transaction? You know, I know we're looking at the accountant's review section here in the books review, but is there any way of put it in the more section and asking it from here? That might be a useful feature as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, both your points there, Aaron. On the one, what user should it go to? And while you're actually looking at something, whether it's here, whether it's you're in the middle of doing a bank rec and you click on the transaction, because then you're doing it in real time, aren't you? And not having to wait until the period end.
Yeah, and the only other thing I can't find yet, and maybe I've just not looked deep enough, is how I got the notification that there's a reply here, other than jumping in back to my books review to have a look at it there. So yeah, but so far, absolutely love this. This is absolute music to our ears. The fact that you can tick, as many of these as you need to. Now we get the options to do didn't have the option to multiple add payees and stuff, but we get that as well. But no, we can ask client and we can get that information over to them. And, it becomes like almost a checklist for them. And it's, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Let's just quickly show you what it looked like from a client's point of view, just so people have seen it. But if I jump in and have a look at this one, I think I've done the right one, and share that. Yeah, this looks right. Awesome. Right, so this is me as the client section. As you can see, I've got customers and leads. That's another point we'll bring up, and it comes up with a marketing page now that goes to nowhere at the moment. So yeah, something's not quite right here. So, but yeah, this is from the client's view. But from a client's point of view, we would jump down, we would go to the My Accountant section, and from there, if I choose the right accountant, so the client would have to choose a different accountant up there. So that might be something you need to train them for. There are multiple accountants, but yeah, up here with all those questions that we've just asked, question about payees or the ones we were on at the point, and you can go in and you can ask questions, you can look at comments, and you can reply back, and you can talk to them. And as the client, you can also upload documents if you need to, bring them in. You can see any documents that may have been uploaded to you. So in this case, they put a document to me. And yeah, this is where I'll go in and look at that checklist, go through, tick them off, and everything else. Now, the only other thing that haven't checked actually is, does this actually update the transaction for you? I assume it does, but yeah, at the moment there's we would want that HP liability to go to whatever pay has been put there for you. So yeah, what do you think to the client's view of that one?
The thing I wanted to ask then was, do they get an email notification?
Yeah. Can I show that one? I might be able to show it on screen.
Yeah, so if they get the notification, and when they click on the notification, does that guide them directly into where they need to go?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see on it's quite a small screen, but can you see on there? It says,
cool.
Yeah. And if you click on the green box, it would take you directly there. I think there's an option for it to come up in the mobile app a little bit as well, but yeah, I've not been able to play around with that.
Yeah, we had a question from Paul at Charity Accountants. How will it work for clients that don't log into, the browser and they just use the mobile app? Sometimes, well, I don't know. If you can't do it on the mobile app, then you'll have to just ring them up, I suppose, and say, old school. I don't know.
No, it looks
that would
like
be good.
Yeah.
As an advancement on, so if your client's got an email, even if they use the mobile app, they've got an email telling them they need to go into the desktop web version, whatever you want to call it, to do it. But that would be very cool if, as an advancement on this, is you get a notification through your app saying your accountant wants you to look at something. It shows you what they want you to look at. You can answer it in the app and send it back. That would be, yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I said that it was a notification to your mobile. It's your phone number, not your mobile. So I misread that. So, yeah, it's not the mobile app at the moment that's being interacted. It's the email and phone number they're going to get an interaction with. Yeah. Which, like you said, though, if there was a way to enhance this further, the mobile app is by far the most important bit to push into, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, again, we kind of knew it was coming, kind of expecting it to come, but it's nice that it's there, and it is a definite feature that we want to be jumping on straight away. Okay, brilliant. So the final thing that got announced was relating to our work papers. So if I quickly look up here, you'll see that now we've got a whole new view, and it's given us a chance to actually go from work papers, and they're calling this tax to books.
Showing some early samples of what the feature will look like. When you get started with the CT600, there will be a screen for data input with fields pre-populated, but you can add or edit information as well.
So as you can see here, there's a full-blown corporation tax option. We get the option to put our data import just here, and our CT600 itself is all split down through these areas. And as you can see, it's a nice straightforward way for us to actually go through putting the information in here, here, and here. Then finally, by the looks of it, we've got the options to do some auditing just here, which they're going to show us in a moment, and we get to file just here as well. So it looks like we're getting everything we need to be able to do an end-to-end solution for our clients. And I think this is going to be really, really powerful and something that we're going to start to look at and start to really get to enjoy.
It's a great way to get the basic corporation tax return started. I'm just showing you 2 forms here, but as we build, we'll look to support all 22 core and supplementary forms. But a lot of you will be familiar with the HMRC view, so a nice feature is the PDF viewer, which shows you exactly what the form will look like. You can toggle between the data input view and then look at what the actual paper form will look like through the PDF viewer. Once I've completed the data in part and I'm happy with my tax preparation, I can go to the auditor section. This guides you through the filing by finding and surfacing issues that will cause HMRC to reject the return. This is a nice feature, along with a quick bar. The quick search makes tax preparation easier, as you can navigate this new feature easily without having to memorize menus.
Now, this does lead us to a few kind of questions, if you like. So it gives us an option to file at the top here, but do we have an option to actually get that signed and actually agreed by the client first? That'd be really interesting. And one thing we're definitely a little bit more interested to find out on is what's actually going to happen regarding capital allowances and things like that, where they're a little bit more complicated. At the moment, QuickBooks completely ignores capital allowances and fixture and fittings and depreciation and fixed assets. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens when that gets done. Finally, the bit that I'm excited about is the fact that we've got this taxable element here and this balance element here, indicating it looks like it's trying to guesstimate what the tax is and what's already been paid and trying to show that for the client side of things. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we have the option to go out there and actually go and update the client file one way or another, give them some indication of what's going to happen. We also didn't get to look at it today, but I know that this feature down here is what excites me, because this should give us an opportunity to automate sending out reminders, sending out information, sending out signing packs, sending out data for clients to be able to make payments, those sort of things. And with this, collaborating with the actual data that's there should create some really powerful forms and letters. So I'm really excited about that bit. Overall, I love this approach. I love this option. Now, a little bit of me is still a little bit a bit frustrated, but I understand why, that at the moment this is only for accountants only. It'd be nice if we can see this option available for customers as well, but at the moment I can kind of understand why. That being said, again, really enjoy this. I think this is a great solution and I'm looking forward to what's next. And there we have it. And that's pretty much what got announced at the conference this week. Now, so far so good. I think there's some really good enhancements there. I'm really looking forward to seeing how some of these play out. I can't wait to get my hands on, especially the tax to books feature. And as you can already see, we've already played around with some of the other features as well. Remember to stick around on this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, because we will definitely be looking at all of these items in more detail. And especially when we get that tax to books feature, we're going to see what we can actually do with it and how we can make the most out of it. So really excited, really looking forward to what the future brings. Great session, great conference by QuickBooks this year. Really did bring some excellent aspects to it. The highlights I'd recommend you go back and see is some of the speakers. So Stephen Bartlett, people like that, absolutely brilliant. Some great inspirational speakers. And a lot of the people that's involved in this channel has been involved as well. So we've got people like Ash, who was there doing his session. We've got some fellow TWM members. Big up to them. And they were doing sessions as well. Still the likes of Roz, Katie and Jackie. Overall, really enjoy the conference and looking forward for the next time. Now, keep your eyes peeled to this channel. We'll be looking at any other conferences, any other news that gets come from QuickBooks Online. For now though, let us know below what was your favourite bit about the conference, and let me know as well if there's anything you want me to cover in that little bit more detail. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. All the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new, even if we stay in bed. My heart is saying yeah. You know I want him nah. My heart is saying yeah.
Because so Stephen Bartlett, people like that, absolutely. Oh, Bartlett. Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.